we heard that the cross-country season kind of has been pushed back from fall to spring. So how do you as a coach really deal with that? And what are the precautions that you guys are taking? What's happening with practices and meets?
That's the beauty of it. They haven't even told us when our conference or national meet is for cross-country in the spring. And of course, the issue with that is that that's going on during track season. All my kids are track athletes, so it's like, how are they going to be able to do that, scheduling that as well as, both sports? We're still able to practice. We can't have any competitions, so it makes it difficult for me to have these kids doing all this training and not being able to race against other kids. A big problem is that a lot of these kids, they didn't have a track season last year, so a lot of these kids haven't competed for over a year. In fact, a lot of the freshmen I got coming in, since their schools were canceled in March, they had nothing to do, so I actually have been coaching them since March when I really don't start coaching them until June.
No, yeah, definitely a lot of challenges. It seems like you have a lot on your plate. I mean, good you're working with them. We talked about the season and how that'll be changing with COVID-19. You just mentioned the freshmen. We're wondering if recruiting has changed.
My recruiting went really, really well this year. I've got 9 freshman guys coming in, and I've got 3 freshman girls, and I only have 4 guys returning on the guys' side and 3 girls on the girls' side. I have a very, very young group, and I haven't had this young of a group since back in the days when we first started the program. So I'm real excited with these kids.
So you're also a coach of the track and field team. Just take it through, how do you think their season's going to be, their complement of players, and what you expect from them?
Well, Coach Tate's the head coach, and I'm his assistant, but I'm going to be in charge of the mid-distance runners and distance runners. He has some sprinters that come in that he knows a little bit more of, but I know he's relying a lot on my kids in cross country because a lot of them are stronger in track than they are cross country. So we're basically going to be scoring a lot of points for his team, and it's going to be my job to make sure that they're going to be prepared for whatever race he wants these kids to run. But like I said, what's going to be the kicker is that if they're moving this to the spring, we have an indoor track season and an outdoor track season. And the weather in the spring is not as good as it is in the fall. And we're not even sure if indoor track's going to go this year. We were hoping that we would have a cross-country season, and, we're not. So, we'll see what happens with track.
Yeah, everything's still up in the air, but say everything does go well, both seasons are played accordingly. What are some season goals you have, either for yourself, the coaching staff, or for your squads in general?
For the cross-country squad, and I just hope that I can still motivate them to still be training since they've trained for so long. I have a schedule of what we're doing for the whole season. We're going to stick with that schedule. On the days we were supposedly going to have meets, we're going to go to certain areas, and we're pretty much going to have an inter-squad time trial. I know I have a lot of freshmen that haven't met each other, so they're really looking forward to having somebody to train with because a lot of them have been training on their own. So that's a good motivator. And like I said, I've got a handful that are more track runners than cross-country, but they like cross-country because that keeps them in shape for track.
That's awesome. Well, looking forward to it, even though it is pushed back. Looking forward to seeing everybody get out there and run and compete for LTU. Thanks for joining us today, Coach.
Thanks for having me.